What's going on? It's Myson Jones with the Basketball to Business podcast. We talk about basketball and sports and how it relates to business and life. And I have with me a very highly esteemed guest, Carlo White. Carlo, how are you doing?
Doing great, man. Great. Glad to be here.
Glad you are here. So do me a favor, for those who are listening on the podcast or LinkedIn, wherever it is, could you catch us up to where you are now, what you do on a daily basis, and what your process or your journey was like after high school?
Yeah. So I grew up here in the Greenville, South Carolina area. So for those that are watching from Greenville, I'm a homegrown product. Went to the Woodmont school system. Graduated from Woodmont High. Played ball down there, point guard, all 4 years. Actually played JV in the 7th grade. So I made a JV team in the 7th grade and did my amateur athletics through Woodmont. Ended up going to Clemson. Graduated there, was in the ROTC program there, did my ROTC time or my Air Force time and right after college. And after that, I was a banker for Wells Fargo. And from there, I got my first business opportunity to purchase a nationwide insurance agency. And so I purchased that in 2004. Purchased that in 2004. And grew it and sold it in 2016. And now I'm running a transportation logistics company, WH Trucking. And so right now, we get up every day and try to build something, man. I tell my group, there's no such thing as special organizations, special buildings. There's special people that make up special organizations. And so I'm just all about investing in my people. And actually, we have a great time to invest right now as we go through this challenge with coronavirus and how it's disrupted business and how it's impacted the whole world. But it's definitely impacted my business. We're running at about 50%. But we just continue to have a vision and continue to invest in people and keep them up to speed with truth about what's going on, how it's going to impact us all, but then continue to sell them on the hope of what we're still going to accomplish in this time. And so that's what we are. We're navigating those waters just like everyone else.
So my thought process is, you said you played football, JV in the 7th grade. You were
Basketball.
Basketball, 7th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, even better. And ROTC in college. And I'm sure you've had a chance to be a leader and learn from other leaders as well. Maybe some good, maybe some bad. What are the tendencies? You mentioned one about being truthful and keeping them up to speed. What are those tendencies or those traits that you want to exude right now for your team operating at 50% and going through this pandemic?
I told my team, actually, it's interesting. It's like a premonition. I had this feeling late last year that we were getting ready to go through a turbulent time. And I've been telling my team, I didn't know it was going to be a part of a pandemic or anything, but I've been telling my team, hey guys, we've had a pretty robust run, but it seems like the market is changing. This was last year. And so I came up with an acronym that I told them that this is what's going to get us through this time. There's a saying that smooth seas do not make skilled sailors. And therefore it says, the thought of is you need rough waters to be able to hone your leadership skill, your sailor skill. And so I told them the one thing about navigating rough waters is you have to stay calm. The one thing about sports, the one thing about, let's talk about the great. Tom Brady to me is the GOAT. Michael Jordan, the GOAT. One thing that's different about those people, those two guys, is when things get tough, when they get down, when adversity hits, they have this crazy ability to focus in and execute, stay calm and execute. And so that's one of the things that I'm important to my team. I told them my acronym this year is going to be CALM, which stands for clarity, clarity, accountability, leadership, and protecting our market share. So with my guys, I'm trying to deal with them on a mental level because that's what's changed the game. In sports, it's all about mental. The difference between Kobe Bryant and Vince Carter. Vince Carter is one of the most athletic, gifted people I've ever seen do it. The way he can jump, he can shoot the rock. What's the difference between him and Kobe Bryant? It's the mental aspect of it. It's the Mamba mentality. That's why one is called the Mamba, and that's why one won a dunk contest. But they both were extremely skilled. So it's the mental part of sports. It's the mental part of business. I'm trying to focus on the mental part, trying to continue to deal with my people on the mental part, to make sure that their thoughts don't go negative, to make sure that they don't start getting so scared that they just freeze and paralyze and stop being productive because they're just so scared about tomorrow. So for me, it is about the mental aspect that I learned in sports, that I learned in leadership in the Air Force, that I've taken into business. And I think it gives me an edge, and I think it gives my team an edge because we deal from a cognitive standpoint, not just about circumstances, but just about, okay, this happened to us. What's our response? Where do we want to take this? And just keeping our mental focus to where we can execute instead of doing things out of emotion, execute from a mental, cognitive, strategic way of approach. So that's what I learned in sports. That's what I learned in the Air Force. That's what I'm applying in business.
Man, that might be the whole podcast right there. Everybody, thanks for joining in for two. No, hey, that's a good word. That's a good word. And really the flow of of my questions just changed because of what you just said. So I want to break down CALM, clarity, accountability, leadership, and protecting your market share. First, for perspective, how large is your team?
Okay. I have a team. We're about 45. It's about 45 of us. We range from some guys work with me as independent contractors, W-2 employees. We have a external and an internal. So we drive trucks, 18-wheelers. So we have about 35 drivers. And it's about 10 of us inside in the internal team. So the internal team is kind of like our administrative management team. And we kind of have a bond, and our job is to really take care of those guys that are really doing the job. It's the front line. And so that's the kind of the dynamics of our team.
So if you don't mind, break down, you may not have this fully fleshed out, you may have it fully fleshed out, but what does that look like for every letter? I like how you have acronyms, so you can remember to have these mnemonic devices for what CALM means for you. But what does that look like, every single letter, for your team or for you as a leader when you speak to your team?
Yeah. So the CALM, clarity is so key when you're talking about the whole fear of any of this pandemic. Anything you go through, the fear is the unknown, right? The fear is coming up against something that is new to you. So the clearer you can be as to expectations, to get out of the unknown. Expectations, this is what I expect of you. This is what I expected of them before we entered into this adversity. And now that we're going into it, I am clear as to about this is what I expect out of you now, and this is what you can expect out of me. And so just bringing clarity, it is, there's someone that says that clarity makes for the best contract. Because if we're clear as to expectations, you can now not only hit the expectations, but exceed the expectations. The last thing you want to do is try to shoot a dart at a bullseye that hadn't been clarified. So that's what we're doing. We're just continuously updating them on where we are, what the expectations of them, what they can expect out of us, hearing from them as to what they expect out of us as a leadership team. And so that helps get everybody to just calm down and continue to focus. The accountability part, that's huge. That's huge for us in that we have values, we have core values, integrity first, service above self, and excellence in all we do. But one of the things we do is we have behaviors. Behaviors are, you have to be dependable, flexible, and with a good professional attitude. That's how we kind of judge how we deal with each other. That's how we judge the drivers. Are they dependable? Are they flexible? Do they project a professional good attitude? And so with accountability, is holding people accountable to those standards, not just being words that you put up on the wall or nice little fluffy stuff, values and all that type stuff, but actually trying to get it to where we live it out, which the way we deal with each other when we short their paycheck because we missed a run that they actually went and did the work. We missed it in our pay system, and now we shorted the paycheck. Well, how do you bring that to us? Do you bring it to us cussing us out? Do you bring it to us threatening to leave? all of that is holding each other accountable to hold up. Those are not that's not our core values, and those are not our behaviors. When you're disappointed, when we're asked to do something extra from a client because a client is in a jam, do we throw our hands up and say, hey, my shift is over, I'm out of here? Or do we go ahead and be flexible enough to take care of the client so that so that hopefully that relationship grows and we have more business in the future? Holding each other accountable is to have clarity as to what we want, and then being able to challenge each other as to, hey, that fell short. That's not what we do. This is the WH way. We do it like dot 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 dot. We're dependable. We're flexible, and we have good attitudes. So clarity, then holding people accountable to what you've been clear on. On the leadership part is we talk about the hardest person to lead is yourself. And so we focus on leadership is on self-leadership. We have metrics in our evaluation systems. For example, everyone in here has something that they're working on this year because in our evaluations, everybody had goals and they have something that they're working on. Well, in our check-ins, it's more about that person talking about where they are, what they're doing right, and what they're doing wrong, what they need to work on. That person leading themselves. Everyone in our team, we want leaders. We don't want followers. Leaders is just the art of influencing people. You influence people by adding value to people, and the more value you add to people, the more influence you have over them. And so we all try to focus on our goals and how we're helping the team, and we hold ourselves accountable to our own goals and how we're adding value to the team. And so that leadership portion is crucial. And here's the thing: the market share is just a byproduct. If we're clear about what we're trying to accomplish and how we're trying to accomplish it, if we hold each other accountable to what we're asking and what they're asking of us, and then we hold ourselves even higher accountable to our own goals of adding value to the team and to our clients so that we can continue to grow in our influence, our market share is going to grow. Market share is a byproduct of just going through the rest of it. So
hold on one second. I'm trying to see if you guys are hiring right now. No, that sounds great. That sounds great. And it sounds like those core values and those behaviors are things that you came about from experience and not so much guesswork.
Oh, yeah.
Like you ain't reading the book and just say, these are our core values. These are because they just fit so well together. You know what I mean? Yeah, hold each other accountable. Let's do it in a professional way, right? Let's be flexible and be dependable, even though it wasn't your fault. It's your responsibility. So I don't know. I like that as you were talking about it. I saw how those things kind of intertwine.
Yep.
So for you, another thing I want to talk about, the Carlo and Nico White Foundation. When did that come about? And fill us in on that if you care to talk about that foundation, because I know it's doing a lot of good for other entrepreneurs and small business owners in the community.
Well, the foundation is actually it was inspired, to be honest with you, with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But ultimately, if you want to go to the core of the root causes, the foundation is fueled by Christ, commerce, and community. And all three of those C's, Christ, commerce, and community, have had a massive impact on Nika and my life. So I wouldn't have married Nika. Nika and I got married our junior year in college. And before then, anyone who know me knew, I don't know that I had one monogamous relationship up to that point, man. I mean, it's just that wasn't my thing. Hanging out with one person wasn't my thing. So Christ's impact on me changed the game for me. I done playing games with women, done chasing crazy stuff in the streets. And that allowed me to be able to really settle down and begin this journey with Nika. That we're 23 years into it, and it is sweeter than it was when we got together as teenagers. So Christ has done it, his love, because I would have self-destructed, she would have self-destructed, because we're two alpha personalities and we stay at each other's throats, except for Christ calms us down and keeps us coming back towards each other. So his impact on us has been just crazy. So then you take that over into commerce. My dad was a small business owner, and we grew up low income, single parent house, but just seeing my dad go out and do business for himself inspired me to want to do business. And when I left corporate America, and came and started doing my own business, man, there is no way that my wealth and my impact would even be near what it is now if I wouldn't have ever took that leap and got into something that my income was unlimited. And so what I've been able to make over the course of the last um, 15 plus years in my own business. Now, let me be clear. We have had some rough times, but the times we've had rough balanced with the times that we've had good, it outweighs the fact that we are net positive if I would have just stayed at my 9 to 5. So I want more people to be able to follow their dreams, have some support, take the lead, and try to build a business that can truly change not only their life, but generations. And then community. Me and Nico are a product of this Greenville, this upstate community. And I tell everybody, whatever we give back to the community, it's just interest on the investment that the community has made into us. And so this thing is about us. We are blessed to be a blessing, and we want to build a community of people who understand that truth. And I don't care where you are blessed, and now it's time to be a blessing. And you can through money, through your efforts, through your time, through your talents. And so we're just using everything that we've been given to make sure that we honor Christ, that we support business entrepreneurship. And you're an entrepreneur even if you work at a W-2. That's the one thing that I push. Everyone think an entrepreneur is someone who has a building with a name on it. An entrepreneur to me is someone who solves problems for a profit. You learn to solve problems, you will profit, and you got to start doing that at every aspect of your life. So every one of us are own businesses. If you sell your time to GE and they give you a W-2, who cares if you get a W-2? You just sold your time to GE. If you sell your time to Michelin, you just sold your time to Michelin. And so you're your own business. And so we want to promote that mindset so then people can understand that if I'm my own business, if I increase my value, I get to sell my time to GE, to Michelin at a higher value. If I learn to solve problems, I'll profit more on my 9 to 5. I'll profit more in my small business. So price, commerce, and then community, and just continue to build this mindset so that hopefully we as a brown people can take the next step in wealth building.
And I like that too. Again, it all intertwines with the 3 C's, with Christ, commerce, and community, and not to turn it into a sermon, because I know everyone doesn't have the same spiritual or religious beliefs. But it's interesting to me, if you strip aside the religiosity, the spirituality, you have somebody, a man, Jesus Christ, who, one, has sold more books than any other author in the world, has 1 in 3 people following him without a social media account. Right. I mean, he's accomplished a lot of really positive things and a lot of amazing features if you look at it from a business perspective, Yeah. So I guess my question for you would be, what business principles would you say you've taken? You mentioned how he's impacted you in your marriage, but what business principles would you say has been impacted by his values, by his business that he's done?
Well, he's the greatest leader to ever do it. A leadership, again, it's just the art of influencing people. And the way you influence people is add value to people. And it's not about position. The lowest level of leadership is to lead because you're the coach. Lead because you're the starting point guard. Now you're a leader because you're in the starting lineup. No. You lead no matter whether you're the last man on the bench or you the first person in the game. It doesn't matter your position. True leadership is if you're the person on the furthest part on the bench, adding value, scouting the film, being able to tell the starter that, hey, this is this person's tendencies. And as you add value, the team is going to always want you with them. And the team is always going to look to you and ask you questions and cause you're adding value, and you're going to gain influence over the team. And so that's what Jesus Christ did. It wasn't about position for him. It was about adding value through him giving his life for the benefit of others. It was about him doing something so that others could benefit, that made his life such that we now are influenced. I'm influenced by him. Like you said, 1 in 3? Okay, so 1 in 3 are still influenced by this man that walked 2,000 years ago on the earth. He still has this type of impact on people. It's because he He figured out a way to add value to people through servant leadership. And now that adding value has given him great influence. I do the same thing in my business. My business model is about me serving my people. This is what we say. We have 3 more C's in our in our company. So we take care of our colleagues so that our colleagues can take care of our clients, so our clients can give us the profits to take care of our community. But at the end of the day, it's all about servanthood. We spend our time, and I spend my time on how can I make this the best place to work in the world? How can I take care of each and every one of my colleagues, each and every one of the people that work with me day and day? How can I take care of them? Because if I take good enough care for them, they're going to walk out of this place with high morale. They're going to walk out of this place with pride, and they're going to go take good care of our clients. And if we keep taking good care of our clients are going to refer us. Our clients are going to increase our business, and we're going to get the profits we need to go take care of our community. Everything is about service because everything about Jesus was about service. And that's how I'm going to grow my influence inside of my company. That's how my company is going to grow our influence with our clients. And that's how we ultimately is going to grow influence in this community. He's the greatest leader to ever do it, man. And we just trying to follow his example through servant leadership.
So a few more questions, if you will, if you have time for that. First one, it's kind of a random shift, but who is more competitive? Is it you or Dr. Nika White?
Yeah, I would say me. Because she is competitive, but at some point she'll say, "Yeah, you take it too far." I mean, so when at the point that you take it too far, you're the more competitive person. Oh yeah, I don't do anything halfway. So this be funny. So one of the things to where it's just like it gets on her nerves is when we dance. We need to dance. I mean, we need to get it in. I mean, you need to be on beat. What? She be like, we just out here to have fun. No, man. No, there are people watching. There are other people dancing. Our stuff need to be more together than theirs. So yeah, I'm very competitive.
With everything though, it's business, it's basketball, it's dancing, whatever.
Dude, I don't know how to do anything halfway. Yeah.
It's funny.
So that I don't brag. If we were going out and if I would have bragged to you and say, nah, man, for real, I can bowl. You can count it. I really can bowl. Because I'm just not going to go out here and say I can do something and can't do it. If I tell you, if I accept an invite, yeah, we'll play pool. It's because I can really play pool. I'm not going out there to do nothing with you that I can't do and you blow me off. No. So if we ever hook up pool, basketball, bowling, it's because I can do it. And I'm going to compete. So I ain't the best at everything, but nah, you're going to feel me. You're going to know I was there. So,
okay. Do you still hoop?
You know what? No, I haven't hooped in a while. The last time I actually hooped, I volunteered with this program at Clemson, Paul Journey, which is it's kind of like what you have from basketball to business, but it's about these guys after football. So they have a program in Paul Journey called the fifth quarter. So what you've played on the field for 4 quarters, what you're going to do off the field. Well, we had an internship. A lot of football players came down, spent a week with us in the business, learning what we do in the business. And so that a game broke out. And that's the last time I ducked off my skills. And I was surprised, man. I mean, if need to call it up now, it's in there. It's in there.
Hey, I'll keep that in mind. And I guess the last question I would ask you is there any other message or any piece of wisdom that you've gotten from any of the mentors, guys you've introduced me to, that I've gone and talked to who have a wealth of wisdom? Is there any wisdom that you would share with anybody who's a young professional right now, going through this time, that wants to utilize their time wisely while they have this social isolation, but also wants to come back stronger? What piece of wisdom would you give them from yourself or from someone else that really helped you out?
It's the same thing. And because, like you said, you try to focus on one thing. Of course, wisdom is so vast. There's so many points of wisdom. But if we were to just stay focused on one thing, to me, it's the mental aspect. It is T. Harv Eker. The book is The Secrets of the Millionaire Mindset. T. Harv Eker, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mindset. It's an amazing book. And if anyone out there listening, if you just pick it up, order it, get it, and read it. I read it about once a year. It just talks about a wealthy mindset. Most people think wealthy is a number. Wealthy is not a number; it's a mindset. And and here is the mindset of a wealthy person. They understand that the battle is mental. It's your thought life. T. Harv Eker says this in his book. This is how the process of manifestation. Your thoughts lead to your feelings leads to your actions, and your actions lead to your results. Many people try to deal with life on a feeling base. I don't feel like, and I feel some type of way, and I feel something. Well, wealthy people understand that your feelings are a byproduct of your thoughts. So you can never really change your feelings. You only can change your thoughts, and then your thoughts will then change your feelings. Mary Ingebrigt said this. She says that if you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change the way you think about it. And if you change the way you think about it, your feelings will change about it. And then therefore you will be able to, it'll be just like it's not there anymore. So I say that and I lead into this. So the power of your mind is so strong, and we got to learn. Wealthy people learn how to master their own mind. Let me give you an example. I tell this example in sports. When I went to Woodmont, we used to ball and everything. We used to play against Southside and all that type stuff. And to be honest with you, we never really thought we had a championship team. We didn't think we had a championship team. And it doesn't matter what anybody say. I mean, if you'd ask us a question, like, yo, we're going to win a chip or whatever. And we didn't think we had a championship team. And we were not willing to put in the work. And so we would go to practice. We would goof off a little bit. Everybody was wanting to really put up their numbers and hang out with the ladies after the game. That's basically all that was for us. Now you go across up the street to Southside, had Merle Code, had Shaman, had Mike Menafield, Eldred Lehman. Those boys who had championship quality, so they were willing to put in the time. They had the talent and everything. And it's just this. They thought they were champions, and they were willing to work like champions. We didn't think we were champions. We were not willing to work like champions. Now, you switch it. If we just thought we were champions and put in the work, I don't know if we'd have won a championship, but I bet you we would have made the playoffs. I bet you we might have made the second round because we would have put in the work. It is the thought that dictated everything. We didn't think we were champions, and we missed the playoffs. We didn't think we were champions. We didn't feel like champions. We didn't work like champions. And so it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. We didn't win a championship. Mastering the mind is so key. When you think you're a champion, you feel like a champion, you were willing to work like a champion, and you will receive championship results. Same thing with where we are right now. If you're feeling like, if you're feeling like sluggish and what's the use and everything, challenge that thought. Challenge that thought. If the world's coming to the end, it ain't gonna matter anyway. But let's just say that this is gonna lift one day and we go back out in the street. Challenge that thought that there is no use. There is a use. It's a time to get better. It is a time to increase your value. It is a time to get sharper. It is a time to hone your skill. It is a time to add value and increase your influence. It's a time because we're gonna leave here, and I want to leave here with more value than I came into this shutdown with. It's those thoughts that allow you to then feel like, yes, I need to go ahead and put in this time, even though I don't know when we need to, when we're gonna get out of here. I still need to put in the work. I still need to, as an athlete, train my body, even though I don't know when we're gonna play sports again. I still need to be preparing. I still need to be getting ready, because I feel like when we come out of, because I'm thinking when we come out of here, I want to be sharper. So I feel like I need to do the work, and then I'll get the results of coming out of this thing better, sharper, ready to go and take my place in the world. So it is the mental part that the people that I've studied have mastered, and I now concentrate on mastering. That's the game changer. Some people can call it the mama mentality, but that's what it is. It is the mental part of the game that separates Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant from the other great athletes. That's what's going to separate you. That's what's separating me right now.
Carlo White, that was educational, edifying. Those two of the E's that you guys focus on. But I appreciate your time. I know the listeners are going to appreciate the wisdom and the insight you shared here, man. So really, really am grateful for the time, and can't wait to see you after all this stuff settles.
Hey, bro, looking forward to it, man. As someone told me, man, we want everyone listening. We want you, Myson, and your family to Stay positive and test negative.